This is the second part of Kim's story. We'll title this one, Her Breakthrough. She began, I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know how to pray the right way. I didn't have fancy words or long scriptures. I didn't have any of those memorized. I just had pain, and I had a whisper. Every night, I closed my eyes and talked to God, like He was sitting right beside me. I didn't ask for riches or revenge for what I'd been through. I asked for my brother once again and for our safety. I asked for a place where I could breathe without fear. Some nights I cried so hard I couldn't speak. But I believe that tears counted also. And I shedded many. Let me say now, as the minister who wrote this book for her, her tears did count. Because the Bible tells us that the Spirit takes to God the desires of our hearts in Romans chapter 8. So her tears, her not having the words to speak out loud, yet her spirit was crying out through tears. And the desire of her heart is being taken to God. She said, I didn't see answers right away. The abuse didn't stop overnight. The shelter didn't suddenly become safe. But something inside me started to change. I held on tighter to the hope. I started believing that maybe, just maybe, God was and is listening. And then something happened. My mom, who had never stopped trying to reach us, met a man who treated her with kindness. He helped her fight for us in court, and somehow, against all odds, she won. We were going home. I believe it was God. I believe He heard me, because when I asked Him, He said yes. The day we left foster care, I didn't feel real. It didn't feel real. After everything, the shelters, the silence, the scars, I didn't believe freedom was possible, because God had been working behind the scene. I knew He had been working behind the scenes now. My mom, who never stopped loving us, even when she couldn't hold us in her arms, met someone different. He wasn't loud or cruel. He was kind. He saw her pain and didn't turn and run from it. He stood beside her and helped her fight. Oh, God is real. They went to court. My mom and him, they went to court. Papers was filed. Promises were made. And somehow the judge said, yes. And I said, we are going home. I didn't know it at the time, but now I see the providence of God was working all along. My tears and my cries and my moans and my groans have been heard by the great God of heaven. When we went home, it wasn't a mansion, just a small apartment complex with cracked sidewalks and faded paint. But to me, oh my God, it was a palace. It was peaceful. It was the answer to every prayer I whispered in the dark. My mother and I were together again with my brother. My mom was smiling again, and I was breathing again. That apartment became the beginning of something new, and that's where I met Pastor George Brown. I remember the day I saw this family. Something said to me, go and introduce yourself to them. They were moving in and they seemed like they didn't have as much stuff, but they seemed to be so happy to be moving in. And as I went and introduced myself to them and started to helping them get moved in, there we made a connection. And her brother would come over to the apartment to watch television. And she would sit around trying to read books, and I began to talk with her. And from our conversation, forth came the book. I asked God, and He said yes. Let me tell you another reason why I wrote this book for her. I wanted her to have something where she would be invited to speak on stages and explain to people and share with people, as she's sharing with us now, how God delivered her from darkness to deliverance. She didn't even know what was going on. She just knew that she was in a position she didn't want to be. And she didn't even know God, as quote unquote scripture said you should. But she knew that was my only hope, was to pray to Him. And I'm saying a lot of things that was in that book. Oh, this is a powerful book. I was blessed to meet her and write it. I hope this is part 2 of her videos, her story. I hope you will like and subscribe and return to hear part 3. God bless you. And if you're praying for deliverance, you have come to the right place where you can find freedom. Because love go all the way. Love went all the way in this story. And you can find freedom from your darkness and find freedom in deliverance. But you got to reach out. Sitting, waiting, not trusting, not trying something, it's not going to get you anything. Just as Kim received help from this minister, you too can receive that help, but you got to trust. You got to come. If you want to write me, do it at all lowercase messenger@grandecom.net. I will put it in the description. Let me hear from you. Like and subscribe. God bless.